on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. All right, just one day after Apple released iOS 16.4 for the public, we have our very first beta of iOS 16.5. A couple interesting things here that this, first of all, should be probably one of the last few dot releases we get for iOS 16. As usual, Apple will announce at WWDC iOS 17. That is going to be a little bit of a revamp of what iOS has to offer, a lot of bug fixes and all that. But what's interesting about this is iOS 16.5, we have no idea what's coming. We have gotten everything that Apple pretty much talked about now at this point with iOS 16 at WWDC last year. We've gotten now Apple Pay Later. Yes, it's in beta that just got rolled out, but it is still coming out now. Aside from Apple's savings account, everything Apple has promised, including new emojis and everything, was included in iOS 16.4. So I'm curious to see what's in this build. We're going to go ahead and do our normal deep dive. We'll probably do a couple of videos in regards to this for what we find, but it's going to be interesting because we're not really sure what's coming. It's kind of exciting. Should be a fun day. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. For those of you that aren't familiar now, iOS 16.4 does have a different beta update. You have to have a developer ID, Apple ID, I should say, associated. It is no longer profiles that you're going to need as of the last build, like I said. So keep that in mind. This build is coming in at 5.6 gigabytes, which is pretty much common now on our iPhone 14 Pro Max. Let's go. Okay, so iOS 16.5 just finished installing, and in addition to iOS betas that dropped today, we also got iPadOS 16.5 Beta 1, macOS 13.4 Beta 1, watchOS 9.5 Beta 1, and tvOS 16.5 Beta 1. Now, having said all that, jumping right into it, as you guys can see here, everything is running pretty smoothly. Couple quick call outs before we even go into the build numbers and all that. If you guys run Lock Launcher, there's definitely some issues that are being found in here. As you can see, the dynamic island prior to doing this wasn't refreshing, but now you can see it is refreshing and working. I can tell you, and obviously you can't see on camera, but the refresh rate is definitely running at 120 hertz. It is looking very smooth. The frames per second has updated too as well, so that shouldn't be an issue, but this might be a little tweak developers might need, or it could just be a bug currently in 16.5 where it is not using the dynamic island as needed. Beyond that, jumping right into it, you can see the iOS version for the first build of 16.5 is 20F5028E, and that is obviously indicating that it is an early build. And at this time, which is about an hour after it was actually released, an hour and a half, the release notes are still not up, so Apple's definitely taking its sweet time. We don't know what bugs are outstanding or what known fixes might need to be known to address those, but we'll keep an eye on these. We'll probably do a subsequent video follow-up as well. Beyond that, everything has been working as anticipated. And another call out, if you missed our prior video as well, is when we got the RC build and some of the other betas, it got very hot, and you can see we were just using it pretty substantially, and it is still running very cool. Again, if you missed the other videos, this was running about 106, 107 degrees, which is insanely hot for a device that you're holding in your hands. For our international viewers, that is Fahrenheit, so adjust as needed, but that is just a quick call out there. Beyond that, for such a big point release, and not being 16.4.1, I haven't seen any new features. I can tell you, jumping into the wallet app, let me go ahead and open it. We haven't had Apple Pay Later. We didn't get currently offered to take part in that beta testing, so can't go into that. We went in and looked around, but it is not there. Shouldn't have clicked off of that, but you can see nothing yet for that for us. So if you guys are eligible, if you want to see if your account got flagged to be part of that, it is supposed to be random. You can jump right into the wallet app. It should give you a splash screen to sign up. We did also try to jump into it in just a Nike.com app and anything that uses Apple Pay to see if it would trigger it, but it did not. It was the same user interface. But beyond that, even in settings, jumping around, nothing else really stood out as being new. Considering that this is a big point release, I'm surprised. No new settings. Obviously, we got everything that Apple's really kind of promised for iOS 16. I haven't found anything new. It seems to be pretty stable. It's running cool. Obviously, we'll have to see what the battery life ends up being like on here, but we'll have to do that assessment after a couple of days. So for now, yeah, Doesn't look like you need to rush out and go update to 16.5 unless you want to, but nothing else is really standing out. Let us know if you download it. Let us know if you have access to the Apple Pay Later. I'm curious to see how that's working. I know a lot of people in the US are interested in testing that out. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.